Hello marketers, welcome to another episode of Bento TV, Marketing Over Booze. I'm your host Anul, CEO of Get It Comms and Editor-in-Chief, at least by name, for b2bento.com. Today we have with us Marcus and Clement, two brains behind Social Metric, the social media company or social media marketing company for Singapore and Asia Pacific region. Can I say that? Marcus is also writer of the best-selling book Social Payoff.
Yeah.
And that is doing very well.
What are you about to say? It's paid off. Social fit.
Social paid off. It's alcohol already taking effect. By the way, as the namesake, Marketing Over Booze, sorry to Christopher Penn and John Wong for stealing the name Marketing Over Coffee and just replacing it with better things. Like this time we are having single malt Macallan with Coke and some ice.
Yeah.
So say hello guys and introduce yourself if you want to say something else about yourself.
Sure. My name is Marcus. Both Clement and I, we run Social Metric over the last 4 years, and we've been doing what we do best, which is really to help companies to get more, retail companies to get more customers through social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And Clement, I think, has a very strong foothold in the industry as well. I'll let Clement introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Clement. I think I know Arno about 1.5, 2 years ago. My main role is just to make sure things keep clocking on and just keep driving on and really hanging out with people over durian and booze. I think overall a very hedonistic lifestyle.
Great. So let's dive in. As usual, we don't have anything specific to talk about. What we normally do is just have some topics or some links, something we are really furious about or really raving about. So we'll throw the topic and gather some feedback. And Marcus didn't even look at that, so it will be fresh perspective.
Yeah, over boost though. So
we have already signing the disclaimer that whatever we speak
Under the influence. This is TUI, talking under influence.
So let's start with the great link Clement shared with me. So it is ebook published by the CMO Council and Adobe. The name of the ebook is APAC Digital Marketing Performance Dashboard. We'll put the link in the show note. But two major points from that we want to handle. But first start with the basic point we mentioned there. That is need for marketing metrics. That is, APAC clients or APAC marketers are not taking ROI very seriously, or they are looking at very rudimentary metrics. So let's start with Clement. That what do you think is the problem, and why do you think that is the problem?
I think for this is that so I read the report. The report was by CMO Council, so it's a dear friend. We discovered that the reason why they use rudimentary numbers and metrics, right, is because it is measurable. It is easy, it is there, it's almost like a vanity thing. So what we have lacked is really a sense of sophistication of the whole industry, in a sense that how can we improve metrics. And it doesn't help that a lot of times a lot of large MNCs, right, APAC's revenue share of the entire annual revenue is maybe like very small. Therefore, there's not enough resources, not enough education. But what we noticed, I just got off a call with a large MNC in Paris, right? They're actually starting to move budget. So this is actually encouraging in a sense that, yes, we are using rudimentary metrics right now, but a lot of time is being devoted to educate the workforce in Asia. So I think there's a lot of possibility. But because of digital, finally getting hard numbers, revenue metrics is possible. It is actually encouraging, like even though they said that a huge chunk of marketers are not measuring ROI metrics. But today, just off the call with the Paris MNC, they are starting to, it's come to awareness really. So it's actually a very exciting time for Asia, for Asia Pac.
So let's talk about the rudimentary metrics. What do you think people, let's talk about social, right? Marcus, what do you think people are mostly you see in your clients or the people you interact with? So what are the metrics they mainly focus today?
Well, I think a lot of people on social media, the kind of metrics they focus on are the metrics which are very obvious or easily accessible to them. So some examples would be like fan numbers. Facebook has this metric called people talking about this. And then I think with people are getting more sophisticated, so they try to understand a little bit more. So like, for example, I'm just talking only within Facebook, at the bottom of every post, there's always like a certain number of people reach. So they tend to take like these numbers or like, comment, shares kind of thing. It's good for the beginning, but I think what a lot of marketers lack these days is that they don't understand the advantages or disadvantages of each metric. For example, they just think, oh, I have like 50,000 fans, my competitor has 60,000 fans, so I need to beat my competitor now. And that can be very dangerous, because if you're just trying to beat that social media kind of numbers, you can be very dangerous, because if you cannot convert these fans to eventually to become buyers or customers, then you can have big numbers. It's like having a plastic surgery girlfriend or wife. You know, it looks nice. I'm not saying anything against people who have plastic surgery out there. I think all of you are beautiful. Yeah, we're having alcohol. But I think what's more important is that you really want to understand the personality of like that good person who you're trying to marry. So similarly, I think like, let's look at one metric, for example, that a lot of marketers talk about is reach, right? So reach has some advantages and disadvantages. So people tend to take reach as like, oh, why is my reach so low or something like that? And there's advantage and disadvantage. Disadvantage of using that metric to measure your success on social media is that, first and foremost, you are only measuring, when using reach, you're only measuring just based on people who have seen, or rather have that particular post appear in their newsfeed. Now, it's a good thing because you just get to roughly measure what's the general exposure level. But if you really want to measure the fact that whether or not people have actually seen that piece of content, a better metric on Facebook at least would be engagement. So engagement could mean, by Facebook terms of definition, it means like anybody who has clicked on the post. So it could be like clicking on the pictures and blow it up so they can see it more accurately and clearly. They could click through the post, so it leads them to the Facebook page. It can also click by means of like, comment, shares. It can also click by means of clicking through the date, so that whole thing blows it up as well. So when people click on it, it's a much more accurate, not entirely accurate I would say, but much more accurate number rather than reach. Reach, we'll also know that many at times it's also bugged. Just as the point of us recording this video right now, about last week, Facebook has severely underreported their reach number. Even this morning when I checked Facebook Insights for a couple of the pages, you would see that there's some
engagement more than reach, right?
Yeah, engagement more than reach. And also sometimes Facebook will say your reach is 791, and if you open up under Insights, you will see that your reach is actually like 1,000 plus. So you go like, what the hell is going on? Right? So I think marketers must, it's good that we have some metrics to measure so that we can take the guesswork out of a lot of our marketing equation. But it's more, right now I think the next steps would be to understand the metric and what it means, and disadvantages and advantages of each one.
That's all I add, is it cannot see metrics as a silo. That's why trending is important, because anytime if you see a dip or see a spike, right, a lot of times we are here to spot anomalies, and a lot of times if there's no concept of trending, then all these anomalies become like successes, or like they become fearful. So that's why we come down to the fact of more platform agnostic way of measurement, meaning that, okay, yes, I know it's like heartbeat, right? It's like you go up, go down, so there's always daily fluctuations, and you get really scared. But I look across a weekly or monthly level, then it kind of tapers down, and I think that's what that kind of gut must be, because some content will bomb, some content will be good, but as long as daily, we can weekly feel like month on one, quarter on quarter, there's a kind of incremental increase. That's the best. So like, at least for digital, a lot of times people like see, they call it the hockey stick, right? There's one big J curve and everything. That's nice. However, the most successful and sustainable model is really a slightly slope up, like incremental growth. And at least that's how I see it personally. Like, yes, it's great to have J curves. It's a very sexy story. most likely will win awards. But this kind of incremental growth, that means there's a plan and there's a team to kind of guide that growth. And to us, that is much more exciting than a large J curve.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple of points more, means I think it's not only social. Generally, the sense of proper metrics is lacking in Asian market. Couple of reasons what I think. Now, first thing to mention one example, that it's very little business ROI is involved in the marketing world. It's not only social media, when a particular media buy, or even media buy within social media, outside social media. Also, when you're doing a EDM campaign and other things, tying it back to your sales funnel is not there, non-existent. For B2B, I can understand that's difficult because it's longer sales cycle and all. But B2C, it's very, very easy. So I always used to think that like why people don't get it. But there is certain thing about it that people don't want to know. You thought about that possibility that, you know, if I become measurable properly through business metrics, I become responsible too. So that's why rather I stay away from it, and blissful ignorance is the best.
Exactly. So that's why I think it is not a marketing problem. It becomes like a marketing culture problem. Like for example, we know of a client that actually the marketers have KPIs. They have a 6-month running rate or sales figures on their head. So that means the lead that they generate 6 months ago, both on digital, social, everything, they are tied up to sales level. So that's when there's a marry of marketing and sales. But that requires a lot of courage, of political courage within the large organization to drive that change. So that's why marketing is great. I think people know it. And like what you mentioned, Arno, is willful ignorance. That's why you require like a really strong, from a top-down approach. Let's just start measuring everything. And I think that's what we see. And it's all trackable. It's on the B2B side, B2C, or they always call it human to human, right? Everything can be tracked. Lift can be tracked. Impressions, like all the PR stuff can also be tracked, because right now you can track to website visits, or you can track to number of new uniques that have been received by retargeting. There are many metrics around,
Definitely. Even in B2B, when I'm saying it's a longer sales cycle, but there is marketing automations tools are becoming more and more usable. No longer just for the big boys. You know, medium-sized companies have started using it, and you can tie it back from social media to every your outreach, inbound, outbound, all the outreach. You can tie it back. So it is measurable. The question is, one, do you really want to measure? Because I am living by quarter to quarter. You know, my performance is measured quarter to quarter. So why should I invest my money and time to something which will be matured only 6 to 9 months down the lane? And second thing is, if I become measurable, I become responsible. So let's avoid that. And the third problem, and which is the segue to the next one, is that the basic knowledge about digital and social marketing is lacking. It's a talent problem. And that is also mentioned in that same report, that managing the talent gap, which recognizes the same ebook, is talent gap in both sides. It's not only within the organization, a marketing organization within the company, it's also on the agency side. It's a huge problem with talent, and we are facing it every day. Try to hire, and let's see that.
That's a whole episode by itself.
We all have horror stories, right? So what do you think about this talent gap, where it comes from, and how we can solve it?
I'll leave it to Clement.
Okay, let's start with Clement again.
Talent gap. I think both of us learn our chops from very different domains. Marcus had his own online store, e-com store at that time. I grew my life through being an affiliate marketer. So digital skilling, at least in our perspective, like, we came to acknowledge each other's skill set because we're from different domains, but the end goal was the same, is to bring results. I was paid when I drove a sale. He was paid when he drove a sale too. And therefore we just needed to learn things that bring revenue. Digital scaling, at least in my opinion, is not taught in schools. The talent gap happens because all the skill sets that has been learned, you learned in school, and universities are equally guilty because they are not fast enough to adopt the change. Fewer adjuncts and things
And it's
like
very
that.
theoretical, so I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say, like the kind of things that learn in school is not really applicable to real life.
You know,
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I know one of the local universities, they have a new media course, right? So one of their modules is what is a blog. So they don't ask you to teach to set up a blog. It's like one module to tell you, define what a blog is. And that's like 2 hours over there. You know?
actually the exam question.
No, it's like a lecturer teaching this. Then I was like, dude, you're a university grad. You don't go to school to learn what a blog is. Just go set up. So after his whole course, right, he still do not know how to set up a WordPress blog or a theme. Buy from Theme Forest.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all, so it's all theoretical.
Right.
Wow.
And also talking about the university, and I've seen many university courses.
Yeah, exactly.
Poly courses. Polys are still a little bit better, but I've seen those courses. It's mostly talk about branding and positioning rather than marketing itself,
Yeah.
execution. But another problem is coming here, that marketing used to be completely arts field. That means marketing is some kind of voodoo, looking at the crystal ball and you
Don
put,
Draper.
to put chicken in the black box and a fox comes out. And that viewpoint is still kind of celebrated. You know, Mad Men, people who are like very good looking, not like us. Very good looking.
Except
very,
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think alcohol.
Cheers.
is
Yeah.
Let's
Where's
some
mine?
more. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So means that's viewpoint is still valid. You know, people think in that way. Another problem is that's dilutes down the need right now. We need digital marketing technologist. So
Right.
who is not going to just think about the SWOT analysis and the competitive analysis, who can also set up, as you say, WordPress blog or look at the analytics and make some sense out of it.
Yep.
Or even look at something like a social media tool, how to syndicate your content. Who can run a marketing automation software
Yep.
or
But
understand.
what I hesitate to say is that, all I suggest and put a viewpoint is that I think there's a whole category of new work being created, which is the MarTech job.
Right.
From really digital MarTech all the way up to Chief MarTech, Marketing Technology Officer.
Right.
It's almost like I saw a report that marketing now has more IT budget than the CIO, than IT, right?
Yeah.
And really that's the future. You cannot run away the fact that our human behaviors are all tracked on digital, and yet there is still the people in marketing does not have any technology background. So there's going to be an amazing shift that Marcus and I we spotted is we are betting not the farm, but we're putting significant time to realize that, hey, marketing is going to go to technology, either through SaaS, either through a decentralized procurement process because of SaaS and marketing technology. But people are slower to adopt. And like you read the report, right? Doesn't help that senior people don't have the skill set. Doesn't help that the new entrants don't have the skill set, and doesn't help that the agencies don't have the skill. So I think there's opportunities, not just for people like us, but really new entrants, disruptors into this space to provide real value. So it's no move away from hippie artistic, but let's go down to scientific. Let's go down to really hardcore scientific and real results. Always testing. I imagine and envision a place where it's all charts and all it's do is imagine it's all A/B tests. Or every day just talk, hey, I'm running new tests, I'm running new tests.
Well, I have to make a point here. Another big point is like there is an illusion that creativity got something against analytical thinking. There is a normal thinking, like you talk about. Whenever I hear the term that I'm a creative person, I start to believe you're bad in math. So,
Oh yeah.
that's a normal thing, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to make a point there. Creativity in marketing still a big thing.
Yep.
You have to be creative. There is no way getting away. It's not creative or analytical. It's creative and
analytical. Yeah.
Right. So let's make this point. Let's move on to the next one. I think Marcus actually talked about in Channel News Asia yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday
Yeah.
morning.
Yesterday only?
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
yesterday.
it was yesterday.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So long.
So this is a survey came out
Oh no,
from
Tuesday.
from none other than Gallup. So it's not like a Tom, Dick, Harry running few things. And they did this survey for 18,525 US adults. It's US, but you know.
Yeah.
They are saying that the headline of the blog post where this reported, the whole headline says the Americans say social media have little influence on purchase decision. So let's start with Marcus. He already talked about it, so it should be.
Do you want the model answer or do you want the Channel News Asia answer?
They can beep it.
Okay. So so I'll give you both answers.
Right.
So both answers combined to one. I think that's a very interesting number, really, 62%, because social media is something which is very new. It's still, I would say, I consider it's very, very young, because it was only, I think social media only came to rise about 5 to 6 years ago, where we all started using Facebook on profiles. Last time there wasn't even like Facebook pages, there was Facebook groups only. So a lot of businesses just jump on the bandwagon, but I can see why it's 62%, because a lot of businesses, they try to take their traditional media marketing mindsets and apply it in social media. And what this means specifically would be they start posting like their own promotions. They start talking about themselves, which works very well in traditional media, you know. Because in traditional media, you buy an ad, you only have like such limited space, whether it's TV, radio, print ads, and so on. So you have to talk about yourself. Whereas on social media or email or digital marketing in general, you have to build connections. You see, the reason why we use social media is because, firstly, we're all very busy people, so we don't have a lot of time. And if we spend it on social media, we spend it to stay connected with our friends, to see what our partners are up to. Second is to be entertained with latest news and gossips. And third, of course, is to stalk your ex-partner, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, wives, and so on, you know. I know you do that. So it's very clear. But I think, coming back to my point, businesses don't realize that. Although we know we use social media for that, but when we put on our commercial hat, we don't realize that this is the main reason why we use social media. So I think 62% is very interesting, because most businesses are doing it wrongly, right? The 38% who are actually actively influenced by social media in one way or another is because maybe they see a relevant ad to them.
Or relevant post.
Or relevant post. So if that's the case, then I think what these statistics mean is that businesses must be educated to learn about how social media works and also how should they approach social media, which got me compelled to write my book, Social Payoff, and also to do workshops. Yeah.
So what is the uncensored version?
Uncensored? Screw it, man.
I personally think the Gallup post is purely sensationalist. What a way to quote a question. But you need, right? Imagine because of that question, they get this kind of angle, and then look at us. We are talking and we're promoting their blog post again.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has their own agenda. But I think let's move back, right? That question was not. It needs to be scope. Right. It's like saying nobody reads newspaper, or do you read newspaper, or do you believe in reporters? That aside. We have so many reports that say that a lot of people trust their friends. There's different reports like Altimeter report. There's the Google Zmod report that shows that if you're in the travel industry, you always check a third-party reference, and that's 100% before you make a purchase decision, both on hotel travel. On the Zmod, people search from 5 to 10 to 15 different digital touch points before making a purchase decision. Where are you going to find it? Social media is not just Facebook, it's forums, it's word of mouth, it's anything that is really, we need to go beyond just the current fad, which is Facebook. Saying that 68% of people don't trust social media is saying that if we kind of adjust it, it's almost like 68% of people don't trust other people's opinion. I think we have a trust issue over here rather than, and that's at least my unadulterated due to alcohol point of view.
And to add on to Clement's point of view, I think both your experience from Get It Comms and also ours from Social Magic, we've actually generated real leads, real revenue through social media also. So I think results don't lie.
My point is very simple. It also says, if you read that, Gallup panel web and mail study of 18,525 US adult, right? So it is a web survey. So think about that, how question was framed,
Yep.
right? Does social media influence your purchase decision? Now, change that social media to something else. Say, does TV commercial influence your purchase decision?
Yeah.
What you will respond?
Yeah.
I will click on no.
Exactly.
I will like to think it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm a discerning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a discerning consumer.
Yes, I do. But that's a whole weird thing about it. That I think all these surveys comes with an agenda first,
Yep.
and then goes to the formatting the question.
Exactly.
So they get their desired result, and as you said, getting to this sensational news and so on.
Actually, since we're on this topic, so this is whole survey question is a whole module by itself. A better question with more open-ended is what influenced you when making a decision. Therefore, because when you do that, you're actually limiting immediately to that space, and therefore, to me, that question is like, it's false.
Yeah.
Just because Gallup does it doesn't mean that to me it's sloppy.
Right. Yes, that will be a better question. So, listing of all the things, which one influences your purchase decision, and it can be a friend's opinion, right? Analyst's report. Can be that.
Yep.
But this should be more open-ended. This kind of looks like that 9 out of 10 dentists suggest Colgate.
Exactly.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Talking about the survey, let's go to our favorite Agora Pulse survey of Facebook winners and losers of organic reach.
Hi, Emery.
I have to say that. This result came from Agora Pulse, this survey result, and Marcus posted in his Facebook, and I had a furious debate almost at midnight with the guys from Agora Pulse. But anyway, let's talk about that. So they're saying that there are some winners, some are steady, and some are losers. So in the winners category, who are seeing lift in their organic reach, and this is organic reach is the most, like, I'll say, dubious term. This is becoming the new click-through rate.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yes.
Rate thing for marketers term. So up is personal website. Up is TV channel. Up is actors and directors and radio station. Now, you see the up and you have something in mind, and then you start looking at the numbers. Steady is computers and internet website, and it is 16.2% organic reach. Right? Let's look at that number. So, if you look at 16.2%, it's okay, but look at from a bigger perspective. So, if you have 100,000 fans, you're reaching 16,200 fans by organic reach. What that mean? Is it good, bad, ugly, and what brands can do from it? What you can do?
Right. I think firstly, I'll explain why reach is always perpetually going down. It's because I think Facebook's, the reason why we all go on Facebook is to first see that newsfeed, right? So we can stay connected with our friends and family. So last time to get like 100% or 90, 80% reach would be easy, because not a lot of businesses have jumped on the Facebook bandwagon. So you post something as a business, your friends will easily reach it, because fans only have one newsfeed, and they're probably back then 5 to 10 years ago, 6, 7 years ago probably, they are only connected with maybe about 10, 20 pages. So it's easy to get reach as a brand. So over time, we like a few other pages. You know, now I don't even know how many pages I've liked, but I've unfollowed quite a lot of them. But because Facebook needs to serve to protect that newsfeed, so they feed you relevant information. Sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes we like pages because we just want free stuff, free sample, or we just want to take part in a contest, right? So after a while, maybe we remember to unlike it. If we don't, which most of us don't remember to unlike it, we just leave it there. And anytime the brand posts something, you get their information. So I can see why Facebook reach is always going down. But I think this data is very interesting. Why still at 16%? Because in some of my experience, and I believe in both our experience and your experience can tell also, is that some our reach can go as I think from like 2%,
Single digit.
2% out of your total number of fans. It can go up to 20, 30%, 50% even if your content is really good. So I think this is very interesting. I've looked a little bit deeper into the data, and of course we can't deny, because data is, of course, truth is there. But what do you want to say? Oh shit, I blame the booze, but what's in it for businesses? Firstly, I think they need to start thinking about, instead of posting more content, post more killer content. You know, content that people are willing to share on your fans are willing to share on their profile, so your reach can be higher. Right. And that's one. Second is, of course, your budget on Facebook.
Right.
So a lot of times, last time at least, people's budgets, companies' budgets when they approach social media is that I want 50,000 fans. I don't care about budget, maybe $10,000, $20,000, just get me a number of fans, right? Right now, I think what's more important is that maybe don't get so many fans first. You know, 10,000, 50,000, it's a good number, right? It's like making you look with plastic surgery, you know. Vanity number, exactly. Okay. But what is more important is also to make sure your content and your posts get seen by your audience, and then convert from there. So instead of having a huge vanity number, start looking at like a smaller number, but probably in a more layman context, I'll put it like, instead of like building wide, start learning to build deep, and your budgets must also reflect that. Instead of having so many fans, look at having more engagement numbers, people reading your content, look at more conversion numbers. I think this is what ultimately every business wants to have. Of course, everybody dreams of having like a super good looking kind of partner, but ultimately what you want is someone who can really support you for life. Right, and be a great partner, so that you want to build a very deep relationship with your fans. So these statistics just show that yes, we should also at the same time start diversifying to the other platforms, but also not forgetting that we should be creating contagious content on Facebook.
Right. So let's take it from another part we discussed many times offline.
Right.
About this, that the organic reach is going down.
Yep.
And that's undeniable fact. No matter whatever the reason is, it's an intentional ploy by Facebook. Obviously, they are public listed company, not a non-profit company, so they have to make money, and they have to. They came out and a brand Bolan from Facebook came out and said that, like TV, search, newspaper, radio, or virtually every other marketing platform, Facebook is far more effective when businesses use paid media to help meet their goals. I
think I'm more philosophical on that. Like a lot of our platforms, advertising channel platforms, run on single-digit percentage points. Display, single-digit, or even 0.1, right? Yeah, so that's a single-digit percentage point. Emails, single. Okay, if at normal you're single digit, but single digit is not recommended, it means you lack a relationship. The entire, if you look at history, right, display was getting 30% click-through rate the first time banner ads came out, and then ad blindness, and then maturation and sophisticated market brought it down to 0.1. But you still can achieve 1%, 2% click-through rate on the ads. The reason why is proper targeting. Yeah, I know I hear the sound of alcohol, I was happy also. Yeah, so I think that was my thought process. So I'm more philosophical in the sense that it means that Facebook as a platform is maturing in that way. So rather than here arguing that, hey, this is nonsense, and how then can we evolve? Like how display, how marketers have programmatic buying, have things that have technology to solve this thing. How do we optimize yield? And that's why that's the conversation we're in right now. Is that yes, this is the landscape. The landscape evolving. It's either we bitch about it and say that this is horrible, or let's evolve. And it's like how traditional media bitch about digital or search that time. Hey, this is horrible, and look at them, readership dropping. So I think this is where we are at the moment.
Right. Yeah. I would like to add one small thing that the problem happened. I have no qualms about Facebook's organic reach. This will happen. You knew that. This is the idea of social media is free. That's the stupidest thing. So let's get real.
Yeah.
So to me, it's fine. My problem is, we faced all these social media gurus for last 4 or 5 years who went into the platform and said that forget about your website, your blog, just go into Facebook. That's the place to go. I mean, we heard them all.
Yeah.
I just want to hear them now, that what they're saying now.
Yeah.
So from the very B2B point of view, I will say that you should. This is not a suggestion that you should ignore Facebook. You have to be there where your customers are, but you own your content, syndicate and engage in different platforms.
Yes.
So you own your content, put it in Facebook, put it in Twitter, put it in LinkedIn, whatever works in whatever platform, and then get engaged with your customer. Don't try to dissolve your content into different platforms or dilute your content. At the same time, don't try to build your community by yourself.
Exactly.
So keep the community in the syndication platform, keep the content, own the content. So even if tomorrow Facebook goes down like 22% to 1%, again goes to the digital ad, which is 0% or something like that. We still have. Don't put all eggs in one basket.
Yes.
This is somebody else's platform. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
I think you mentioned in a lot of your conversations is the hub and spoke model.
That's exactly.
Exactly, that is the concept. So for us, the most important thing is an email. What if Facebook gone the next day? What if Google decide, hey, screw it, I earn too much cash, let's just strap the whole thing off. There's no more. But with the email address, we must go back to the foundations of what marketing is: distribution. Email is just a digital artifact of distribution. Last time we have mail orders, we have mail orders.
Right.
So it's the same concept. Let's go back to basics. Social media is there, that's great. But what if Facebook comes and go? What if another platform comes and go? How do we keep something eternal? With your measure of hub and spoke model, it's the same thing. The hub to us, our manifestation is we keep telling everybody, our friends, our brands, and our clients, guys, emails. Because if you have a good email database, you can reach 30%. Imagine an open rate of 30%. That is almost saying my reach is 30%. Yeah, so at least that's our model.
The problem is nobody will hear if we start telling people, let's consider email, let's consider direct mail.
It's not
The problem is which is not sexy. So the problem is us as a consultant, that people expect us to come up with new novelties. We'll come like, forget about Facebook, Pinterest is the way to go. I mean, yes, every platform comes with an own flavor, but it never replaces something, it supplements it, complements it, right? So, okay, let's move on from talking too much about Facebook. Let's
move to the other platforms.
Let's move to other things, right?
Let's cheers. Where's yours?
Cheers. Yeah, here you go.
What?
Cheers.
You didn't refill yours?
Yes, I'm okay. I have to stay lucid. Okay.
Come on, it's marketing over booze, man.
That's true. So, Marketing Prof, the great folks at Marketing Prof, with LinkedIn came up with this cute infographic. It's a great infographic. We'll put the link in the show note. So they came up with that top 10 global best-in-class content marketing brands in LinkedIn. And I was very, very interested in the whole thing. So, of course, there is Forbes, there is World Economic Forum, there is Inc., there is Microsoft, Inc., then Financial Times, Wall Street Journal is there. But at the same time, is Microsoft, HP, IBM, Salesforce is also there. So imagine now, and this may be the starting of it, that are we saying that brands are competing with publishing houses? So is it finally we are seeing that we are crossing the chasm, that brands becoming truly publishers? Just not a marketing ploy, or just to get some fans, or get this free iPad by answering these 3 questions. They are actually becoming, and that's a great thing, I believe, that brands are actually looking at publishing of content, or looking at their content marketing strategy much more seriously. What do you think about that? Is it a good sign? And if this is a global thing, how much of that is valid in Asia?
Personally, for me, I think Clement also has his very strong opinion on that. it's a great sign to know that brands are actually becoming publishers right now, because we all know that the internet space is like abundance of content out there. It's just the one thing that is scarce right now is people's attention. So like what I've said earlier in the video, right? We use digital, we're all very busy, and we have very little time to pay attention to ads. And people in the digital space, things move so quickly. We get ad blindness all the time, right? We don't pay attention to the ads, but what really we will pay attention to are things that bring value to us. So on the internet, what are things that bring value to us? The number one thing is, of course, content. I personally read some of Salesforce articles because I find great value in it. I also read some of the other companies' blogs, both Clement and myself. We read HubSpot, we read Forbes, we read World Economics Forum, we read some of these brands over here because we get to learn new things, and many of their content are actually non-branded content, I would say. Even
agnostic content.
Yeah, agnostic content.
And they're not pushing their brand.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So which is why we find great value in it, and which is why we all constantly go back to read the content. And even if we receive like a newsletter from HP or Salesforce, we still take time to open up and to read it through, because it's good content. So I think what brands should be doing right now in Asia, the whole concept of content marketing is still very nascent. Not a lot of companies here in Asia are doing that. It's still a very like US or Western world kind of concept. But when it comes to Asia, it'll be very exciting when it comes, because marketers will not only become IT people, not only marketers, but also journalists right now. So the role of a CMO, like Clement has said earlier, is going to be very diverse, but it'd be very important for business if they truly want to adapt into the fast evolving world of digital. Content is the way to go. At least within the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, we'll see at least.
Riding on Marcus' point, Ion Interactive CEO, he has a blog, and he mentioned that next time in the future, career progression, you need to become a CMO, then become CEO. Well,
Martech blog.
Yeah, the Martech.
I love it.
Yeah. So he has this gorgeous picture that shows that career progression is you go to CMO, then CMO boss, and become CEO. CMOs. There's another brilliant article. In 20 years' time, the only job that will not be kind of cowed is a marketer. Because marketers are the only one who can elicit demand and kind of guide demand towards the conversation. HubSpot recently, if you read, I think we've all read the HubSpot blog, they hired a journalist veteran into their thing. That's where the world is going. Brands, the logical conclusion for brands and brand and dominance in the headspace, the best top of mind is owning a publishing house, right. and that's where the future is.
There has to be a content brand.
The house, and we have one of our old clients.
Yep.
They are a publisher. They are a publisher from a cost center, became a profit center. Yep. Yeah, and it's totally, and it is very subtle brand building, but from a cost center, they became a profit center because they got so much distribution. They found advertisers, and on top of that, so imagine articles are all about them, but good content. Then they have external authors, therefore free content, no need people, fantastic. Advertisers came in to support the publishing, print is free, and all of a sudden,
you have a new business unit.
You have a new BU, and not only that, this BU supports everything. Because with distribution, you have your own list, your own engagement. To us, I think we spoke a bit at length, is that this is the logical conclusion. When is the time? When will then brands be their own digital publishing houses? There's a lot of brands also now, they have their own unbranded website, curating their own content.
Right.
Yeah, like
brands are building content brands. Like if you look at the American Express Open Forum.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly. It's one of them.
It's you know it is American Express,
but it's open forum.
But it's open forum,
Yeah.
and it is never trying to push you something.
Never. Yeah.
But it's awesome. Like I look at this and it's like, when any Asian brands are going to do this thing, right?
If only there were courageous.
Exactly.
brand to-
The problem is when you are still looking at this quarter-to-quarter measurements, this takes time.
Yeah.
Building content marketing properly
Takes
time.
cost and time as well. Yeah.
So you have to convince that, you have to get top management approval. But isn't it only way to go? Means we are generating this emotional unsubscription for all the advertisement. I mean, we just emotionally unsubscribe to that. We just don't see how many we have.
That's a very good term, yeah.
We have technically have less attention span, as Marcus said, than goldfish. Less than 8 seconds.
Yes.
Right? We are worse than goldfish now. So, to capture your attention, as you mentioned, you have to provide value. And one of the way to provide value is to provide content.
Exactly.
Agnostic, neutral content.
Yep.
Not in a content, put it there and
try the hard use sell thing. Yeah.
Hard sell thing by me.
Yeah.
Great. Let's moving on. As we discussed LinkedIn, we cannot leave behind Google Plus. Now, Google Plus right now for last few months is in a little bit shaky position after the main lead Vic Guntotra. Never mind, I never can pronounce it. Vic left Google Plus.
Yeah.
After that, we are not sure about what's going to be the future of Google Plus. And truth to be told, that in Asia that never took off in the first place much.
No.
So, what do you suggest? Like, what should we go in Google Plus?
We use Google Plus because of SEO reasons, because the nice authorship is over there.
Right?
It's gone.
The picture is gone.
No more. So no more pictures. When either Sergey said that I'm not very good with social.
Yeah.
Man,
Doesn't help it.
doesn't help at all. So Google Plus, I don't know. Do you know anybody using it?
The only person I know is Guy Kawasaki because he
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to be ex-evangelist.
Wrote a book, Chris
Yeah.
Rogan and Bergaka.
Yeah.
Because they published a book how to
Called
use
What
Google
the Plus, yeah.
They have to use it. But the problem here is that, what do you think? Okay, you already had 2 rounds of alcohol, so nobody going to hold you hostage for that. Predict, in 1 year down the line, what will happen to Google Plus?
It become like awkward.
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 Yeah.
I totally agree. I don't think at this point right now, are you on Google Plus?
Yeah, I am.
But are you
But I
using
don't
actively? Yeah, so likewise for myself, likewise for Clement, I believe.
User. You're the annual active
Yeah.
user.
No, I thought what I think Google Plus, it will become a signing in process or a layer, a social layer rather than a social platform.
I hate it that I need to rate apps. I need to sign in Google
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an Android user, so there you go.
Yeah.
So, but YouTube comment, you need Google Plus now.
Yeah.
So it will become a social layer rather than a social platform. But for brands, for now,
Stay away from it. It's
Here
a
you go,
useless
heard it first.
platform.
Google Plus will be gone in 1 year.
Under the influence, yeah.
Okay,
Under the influence, better show the camera, yeah.
I mean, we can't leave Twitter behind.
Yeah.
So, Twitter, what it is positioned in this spectrum of all the things, not only social,
Right.
even between mail, advertisement, direct mail, blog, and Facebook, where Twitter fits in. Where that all fitting, first of all.
Well, personally, I tested Twitter ads. It's very good for brand building. They have a few cool ad products. You can promote your tweet to fans of certain people. So, because I'm in the marketing, so fans of John Loomer, Marketo, things like that. So, I can promote my tweet through them. And what happened was the tweet went through and it went to my slide share or it went to an offer. And overall, I just cannot connect that number down to revenue. So I think that's where I'm a bit stuck right now.
Right.
Seem promising. I know a lot of younger people because of we are in the retail and hospitality industry. The young people leave Facebook to go to do their Facebook stuff on Twitter and on Instagram. So I think there's a book, right? It's Complicated by the youth researcher. She mentioned that Facebook was the only platform that was different. It's a platform that everybody, a lot of times people don't do it. People break out into tribes. So what you have is young people breaking out. So their age demographic tribe, it happens to be Twitter, Instagram. So you left all the old farts, right? Like us on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
When your mom joined Facebook that time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
out.
it's over.
So I think
Okay.
I think Twitter has enough user base to carry on. We have a few friends joining Twitter, and they saw the same growth trajectory, the J curve,
Right.
in Twitter, and that's why they left. Some even left their kind of like a solo entrepreneur job to go join a sales team in Twitter, APAC. So I think I don't know. At least that's my point of that. I think there's something to look out for. Yeah.
Personally, for me, I registered my Twitter account like many ages ago. Got active with it, and then after that, because Facebook took off, so I spent most of my time there, and I just left my Twitter account, like just dump it there. And then just only like, I believe this year, beginning of this year, I just went back to Twitter because everybody was talking about it. Because for the longest time ever, I was a big disbeliever in Twitter, at least within Singapore, because the spending audience are not on Twitter. It's usually your teenage audience are there. So I only recently gone back to Twitter, and then I realized my old account got hacked. I started posting stuff about Lady Gaga and and I don't know what. I started posting stuff there. So I went back there, created a new account, got all my old followers, some of them at least, back on my Twitter profile, and then started posting stuff just for fun. And I realized the power of Twitter is always about being able to connect with new people organically, which you will not be able to do so on Facebook. Say a couple of examples would be, I managed to connect with people like Murray Smith, Guy Kawasaki, people within my social media industry. I managed to connect with them, build a relationship with them, which isn't available, which I would probably have a much more difficult time doing on Facebook. I'm not saying it's impossible, but much more difficult as compared to Twitter. So
totally agree.
If I can catch them online, and there are ways to find out when I can catch them online, and then I reply, retweet some of their stuff, DM their stuff, they would engage with me because they're social media people, so it'd be awkward if they don't engage. So I can have conversations with them, which I wouldn't be able to do so on Facebook. So for that reason, I love Twitter. Just like Clement said, right now it's a very good engagement platform, but to connect from Twitter to a final revenue number or ROI number, it is still a bit in the...
But Twitter for customer support, like social media is not just marketing.
That's right.
But some people say the customer support goes under the marketing purview.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but so Twitter is a great place for DM, for customer service, and I think it's, as a marketing tool, as a customer service, is great because when people rent, right, they tag you and then they rent, they want to sue. So that's where I see Twitter is, and you see you have probably so many examples of when people complain and then either an airline or somebody just comes and help and then problem solve. So Twitter to me is the fullest distillation of a listening platform, what Facebook is supposed to be, until marketers came in. Besides that,
we spoil everything. We spoil everything.
Great place.
But Twitter, I mean, I'm using Twitter for a long period of time, and I'm using it regularly, and I make sure that I don't follow anyone, and so I don't play the numbers game.
Unlike a lot of social media people we know.
I know. And you remember one of our, most of us, we know 400,000 followers, and then you go in there.
And we thought, a lot of people thought that this guy was amazing. Then you look at the number of people he followed.
It's 416,000.
So
you know what I mean. So anyway, let's get back to the reality here. So we use Twitter for a long period of time, and we just use this for different conversation. Even today, I mean, we host. I'm one of the moderator as Twitter handle B2Bento. I'm the moderator of B2B Chat, hashtag B2B Chat, which happens every Pacific 5 p.m. on Thursday. And we had just fun, and so it's like all the marketers comes in, and with a hashtag, we have topics and we discuss. Like, imagine having this conversation with 140 character limitation every time. So some punchline comes out really good. Like what we are also throwing punchline, but imagine 140 characters punchline. So it's really working well. But yes, Twitter you cannot ignore. If you're a marketer, there's some ways to do that. But there is
even if you're in customer service, I'll extend a point.
So as an organization, you can't. But at the same time, I've seen that Twitter only works when you have, again, good content to substantiate.
Exactly.
You have to give some stuff. Like, have to have good links to some stuff and other things like that. Coming back to same thing, you need to have, you don't have to worry about organic reach if you have great killer content.
Don't start another platform without a plan. And then measure it to I think it will come full circle back to rudimentary metrics like
how many people,
how many followers.
It's bullshit.
Cool. Any other things you guys have to add, or how about no?
Yeah, how about no? Yeah,
about-
yeah, how about no?
How about-
We're just, how about just,
Yeah, how
let's
about
just
another
enjoy.
drink?
Yeah, another round.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be great. But one thing I have to mention before we say, what's your next plan? Where you're next speaking? Many of you guys are having any speaking?
This one is this quarter is busy, man.
Yeah.
You're not traveling.
Flying a lot.
No, but I think we're flying. But we have a couple of speaking engagements all lined up. But most of our attention spent, at least for both of us, is
It's
on
your own workshops.
our own workshops.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is a webinar coming up.
Yes.
So please send us the link. I'll put it in the show notes so that
All right.
the people can go and register.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming, and let's finish the drink and let's get a little bit more party going.
Woo!
We'll cut this thing. We'll put the whole episode in Bento TV, and also we are going to take out some portion of it and feature it in B2 Bento. Okay, have a great evening, marketers. See you next time.
See ya.
Take care.